What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Wow, guys, here we are, day 2 of the shutdown. Shut it down, guys. And breaking news, the entire federal government has been furloughed, and Marco Rubio is taking over every position.
God bless Marco Rubio.
He thought he had more jobs. He's got tons of jobs now. 1.5 million more jobs for Marco Rubio.
Telling you, this guy is a machine. We should really look into him to possibly being a future candidate for president. I'm not really sure where he's going to fit in between J.D. Vance and Barron Trump. But, I mean, the guy doing 1.5 million jobs on his own. Let's give a round of applause for Marco Rubio here on the FG Show. God bless you, sir. Woo, jaw clap. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Way to go, Marco. Woo! All right, guys. Thank you guys very much for coming. We already got a couple of donations as I pop out the chat. Now it says pop out. We've got one from Yao Ming. Let the deep cleaning begin. Absolutely. And Real Iron Eagle. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Thank you for the Rumble Rants. We appreciate you. If you are doing Rumble Rants, please remember to do it via the web app and not the app that you got on your phone. It takes an additional 50% of what you want to give to this show. Or you can go to mg.show/donate. Or donate, and the other one works too. I can't remember, but go there. Or, we've got a Cash App, Real MG Show, or we've got a PayPal, Real MG Show as well, guys. So thank you guys so much for supporting this show. We are funded by you, and JRT Navy is now a monthly supporter. Thank you, JRT. Appreciate you. And if you were in the Navy, thank you for serving this beautiful country for which you fought. And, and now we're returning it to the country. And you are now, hopefully, we are now going to have people that are worth fighting for, Shady Grove, because we have we're giving the government back to you, the people, Shady.
As 100%. I take the words right out of my mouth. Exactly what I was thinking. Now, maybe that we can generate and create a country that is worth fighting for, and one that won't send our greatest people that sign up to stand and defend us into foreign wars that make no sense for no reason, for elite bloodline families to become richer and then to sit back in the corner and smoke cigars as they undo all of this woke DEI crap on the rest of us, and acting like somehow, somewhere, the American people sat around and asked for this. We did not ask for this. As a matter of fact, we've been asking for you to stop this, and that is the reason that they got Donald Trump. Because you wouldn't listen.
Yeah. Apparently, according to Perkins Perspectives, Marco Rubio is not legally eligible to be VP or POTUS. Natural-born citizen requirement. Father must be a U.S. citizen at time of birth.
That's possible. I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about it either, but it's testing. I'm the kind of guy that has to go look that up. So go look it up. And thank you, Perkins Perspective. We really appreciate you coming here and being here today. The show is also on Facebook. What is it, Yeti? It's mgshow.link/Jeff, Jeff FB. Jeff FB.
I know somebody that can run for office.
Who?
Joe Ray Perkins.
Yeah, there you go.
You want to talk about Marco Rubio? What are you doing, Joe Ray? It's time for you to start. When's the time for you to sign up for that next Senate race, girl?
Let's go.
I'm
Make
ready.
Oregon great again. And boy, oh boy.
I'm saying, we got some momentum out here now.
President Trump is momenting you guys as well.
He is.
I mean,
we get rid of the Tifa in Portland. There's a possibility that a Republican start to win if we get rid of the Tifa.
Q-Shaw has a good question. So how did Obama become president? Just asking. well played, sir. Well played.
Touché.
Yeah, got it. Love it too. Shady, I want to start off the show too. You sent this to me yesterday, and I was a little busy yesterday, and
it's okay. You were doing great yesterday, by the way.
237, Shady. Come on.
Let's go.
Yeah, losing more weight, feeling great. Loving it. Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
You
can give me a compliment every once in a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
you got a face for radio, Shady. I love it.
I do. I already said that. I tell them that every day. I'm not afraid. That's fine. See, guys.
Well, so do I. I have a face.
Wait till you see my next compliment.
Oh no, I'm not going to do it.
It's not going to come when you expect it.
It's not when you least expect it. So let's go to a governor that look. Yes, he was running for president. Yes, I didn't want him to run for president because I needed him here. We needed him here in our state. Miss Miardry, thank you so much. 5 gifted subscriptions to the MG show. But Shady pointed me to this, and I watched maybe a minute of it, Shady, give or take.
Oh, no.
And I liked what I heard. But let's set this up. My governor, DeSantis, is making Florida great again. And there's some people in Florida that are resisting making Florida great again.
A lot of people.
But the counties that are actually making Florida great again, the savings are huge, guys. You cannot have no tax on property unless you have a slimmed down government. Does that make sense, Shady? You guys, they doubled the house prices because of the shitty market. Then they give you more income tax, and then they spend that money on bullshit. That's not what I vote for. I want a clean run. We're conservative in the true sense of the word.
Oh, so you mean you don't need to you don't want to them to just keep taking money into their coffers they don't need so that they can just be creative and come up with holograms at airports and neon signs for entrances into cities as opposed to taking care of the American people. And then whenever you come to them and say, hey man, there's this curb out here across the streets all broken and in disrepair, they say, oh, well, don't worry about that. We don't have any time or money to fix any of that stuff.
Yeah, so let's go to Ron DeSantis because, wherever you live, you need to hear this of what a real governor can do for your state, okay? And this should be maybe a cookie cutter for every state in the union, Shady.
Well, I think that what you're going to hear here is going to be pretty compelling for you to see that this right now, this moment that we're in, where the government is shut down, and what you're seeing Donald Trump do. He actually even brought up Project 2025 today. The moment that we are in, this is the moment. And what I said yesterday, it's very interesting, Jeff, because we were talking about this on the show yesterday about the idea of maybe some major U.S. cities becoming Republican or conservative, like they turn red. The only way they're going to turn red is if you get rid of some of this deep blue corruption that keeps backfeeding the system, and then the nepotism where they bring in their brother or their sister or whoever it is that follows along and just continues the trend. That's got to end. That's not government. That is literally corruption. That's not serving the people. That is self-serving.
Yeah. Jingleheimer Schmidt says taxpayers are paying $400 million per day for the bureaucrats not to work due to the Chuck Schumer Democrat shutdown. Now, how much does that mean we're saving with them working? Oh, my God. All right, so let's go. And we saved $8 billion by cutting. And we're going to get to that later, but I want to talk about this first. And we're going to get to all that later. I mean, you're president. And, I wonder if the Democrats some of them did this on purpose so President Trump can cut the bullshit without them taking the heat for it.
I mean, man, like we've discussed that between us. I mean, it's like, what's the easy way out? What's the easy way back to common sense? They have to somehow decouple themselves from the radical left, man. I mean, if they're going to ever be a legitimate voting block of people again, they're going to have to decouple from these radical people that think people should be shot in the neck for what they say and think. I don't know where that comes from, but whoever the hell thinks like that, they're not American. They don't believe in America, and they'll be the first one to scream and yell at you that they know more about America than you do. I don't know what the hell that is, but decoupling from it is what we've got to do, and maybe this is a way forward for them as Democrats to say, let Trump do it for us, and then we'll try to I mean, John Fetterman, Jeff, I might vote for the guy if I was in.
I mean, he should change to Republican Party. The guy, who would have thought that Fetterman is going to be the voice of common sense for the Democrat Party? Who saw that? Not on my bingo card, Shady. I checked it twice. Not there.
Either. He was like reading from the iPad, like trying to like interpret what people were saying. Now the guy makes more sense than any Democrat has in a decade.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they're crazy. By the way, and we're going to go over a Trump post this morning about Mamdani. He posted a very long video. It was about 7 minutes long. So it was just a link to Fox Business, but I actually have it on Twitter if you want to watch it. I superimposed it into the link of Trump's post. But he's saying about Mamdani, foreign people are paying for him. Okay, so we need to go look at open secrets and find out who is actually funding Mamdani. If somebody wants to do that while we're listening to my governor DeSantis, that'd be great, because foreign and domestic billionaires are probably paying. If the guy is leading, it means he's got a lot of money. Okay. And these foreign billionaires are pushing them in here because what do they want? They want communism. Oh, I'm not a communist. I'm a Democrat socialist. Same damn thing. All right. Stop it.
I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing here. You're contracting this out. So you're saying that the two of us aren't going to go look right now. We're going to pay attention to the show that we're doing. And then we're going to see if the audience can take the information that they've been given by the MG show and our Digs on Arabella Advisors and see if they can come back to us and give us information that maybe we could publish whenever we talk about it.
Yep, and then we'll hat tip them. How about that?
Now, so I'm not going to do any research on this Mamdani guy. We're 100% depending on our audience. Whoa, this is a crazy endeavor.
Who is funding Mamdani? Open secrets. Get over there. Let me know if you find any Arabella style, CPACs or whatever they're called, PACs, foundations, institutes, because they all have foundations and institutes for a reason. Stupid.
Fact.
All right, here we go.
Job and
Ron DeSantis
really spearheading this
in one channel
movement. Where we call it the Florida Agency for Fiscal Oversight, FAFO. These FAFO audits that are being done around the state for local governments, and he's going to talk about a lot of the findings, kind of these initial findings that they're doing. But before I turn it over to him, I will say, when we launched these audits. Well, we started with state agencies and state universities, and so we're going to be rolling out some.
All right, real quick, I want to thank DQ here. Marco Rubio is allowed to be the president. His father was not a U.S. citizen at the time, but he was born in Miami on May 28th, 1971, birthplace Miami, Florida. Because he was born on U.S. soil, Rubio is automatically a natural-born citizen, regardless of his parents' citizenship at the time. Thank you very much.
Actually, that is what I thought, but I wasn't going to be.
Yep.
I thought he was born here, which means he is a natural-born citizen and can be president.
So speaking of Miami, let's go back to Ron DeSantis.
You guys are going to be, your mouth's going to be hanging open after you listen to this. This is amazing.
All right, let's let our mouths hang open. Let's do this.
I'm talking to you too. Derp.
All right, let's go.
On the state universities very soon. There are things that need to be addressed. There's also some things, quite frankly, that they've done, I think, better than expected. So we're going to be rolling that out, and also different things that we've done with state government. But I think if you look at the state of Florida today, right now, the budget that we are operating under is less than the budget we operated under the year before. And that budget the year before was less than the budget the year before that. How many other states are doing that in this country? Not a lot of people. And so we've done done what we needed to do to make sure that we continue to add to our rainy day fund. So when I became governor to now, we've more than tripled the state's rainy day fund. In fact, we're now at the point where we're not allowed to put any more money under Florida's Constitution into the rainy day fund. We've maxed it out, and that's good government. And honestly, there should be a limit, because you got to have a cushion for unforeseen circumstances, or even foreseen circumstances, because, you know, economy's cyclical, there's things that happen, but you don't want to just sock away too much money. We want a tax relief for people then, if that's the case. So we have that. We have a AAA credit rating on all major rating agencies. I think the federal government is AA minus. Some of our local governments are not great either, but we've been AAA across the board. Since I've been governor, if you look by the end of this fiscal year and you take the entire history of Florida and all the debt that was accumulated from the 1840s till the present, we will have paid off 50% of that just since I've been governor in 2019. And so we now have the lowest per capita debt of any state in the United States. We also have either the first or second lowest per capita spending of any state in the United States. And if you compare the state of Florida to the state that's the closest to us in population, would be New York State. Now, New York State used to have a lot more people than us. You know, we've got about 4 million more people than New York State now. And perhaps even that will even grow more if they elect this guy mayor in November. So we'll see what happens. But we have millions of more people than New York State, and yet our state budget is less than half of the budget of New York State. Yet, are their roads better? Absolutely not. Services, no. Education, no. In fact, we just got ranked for the 10th year in a row #1 for public university system, higher education in the country. And we have the lowest tuition in the country by a country mile. And we've got the budget, rainy day fund, but then we've got a lot of excess money in our surplus that's beyond just the rainy day fund, trust funds, general revenue, all this other stuff. And so we're really in good fiscal shape. But it's interesting, as we can talk about all that, look at all the big things we've still been able to do. We've done massive infusion into transportation and roads, and we've done some important things in Northeast Florida, throughout the state. Really, really important. We took projects that weren't even going to start until the 2030s, and we got them going now. They're going to be done 5, 10, 15 years ahead of schedule, depending on the project. And that's taking some of the surplus and applying it in ways that I think are smart. And if you also look the debt repayment, we've saved a lot of money on interest costs, because we're retiring the debt at a discount, foregoing having to pay interest over a longer term, and that's more money that goes back in. You look at what we've done on education. Our public universities, part of the reason we have the lowest tuition is because we've provided significant funding for our universities. We've now done over $3 billion for K-12 just for teacher pay. Through our teacher categorical. No one was doing that prior to 2020 when we launched that initiative. So we're doing big things there. We're doing big things on conservation and environment and Everglades and all these other things, things that are really important. So we're doing all those things, and we're doing major tax relief. We don't have income tax, and we will never have income tax here. We have eliminated commercial rent tax that was not good for small business. We have made sales tax holidays permanent. So now disaster response, disaster preparedness, that's tax-free year-round, those supplies. You just go get what you need. We have permanent back-to-school sales tax holidays where you can load up on those supplies. We just did a Second Amendment tax holiday, sales tax holiday, in effect right now. Knock yourselves out with the ammo and anything you want, tax-free. So we've been able to do all those things in record amounts. I think we've done $7-8 billion just since I've been governor. So we're doing all that, and we're proud of that. We're going to keep it going. We got more in the hopper that we want to do. But if you talk to folks, nobody that I've talked to is really complaining about taxes at the state level. They appreciate the tax relief. They appreciate no income tax. What they're being squeezed by are taxes at the local level with the property taxes. And if you look what's happened, and not just in Florida, this has happened nationwide. Since COVID, you've had a big increase in property values. Obviously, we've had a period of significant inflation nationwide. In Florida, it was kind of compounded because during COVID, the minute somebody was fed up with wherever they were, we were the first state people thought to come to because we did it a lot differently and people appreciated that. And so that was another factor. So you have folks who bought a home. Maybe they bought a home 10 years ago for $350,000. Now they're being told the home's worth $900,000. Well, what does that mean? They got to pay more property tax on that. Now, they didn't sell it for $9,000. They're just being told it's worth that. That's typically not how you do taxation. You know, taxation is if you do a transaction, then there may be a tax on that. But to say that you have an asset and before you've sold it or disposed of it, they're just going to tax you on a higher value. That's basically an unrealized gain. That's what Kamala wanted to do with the stock market when she was running. Remember, she said, we're just going to tax your, so you buy, your 401k goes up and you got to pay more tax. You couldn't do it. You couldn't run an economy like that. So property tax is kind of this aberration where people are hit, not even for making a transaction, just because all of a sudden market conditions have changed. Now, they're not as quick to downgrade the value of your property when the market goes down. It's kind of a one-way ratchet. But what's happened is people are having to pay more, even if you're not raising millage. They're still having to pay more because the assessments have gone up. And so we are leading the effort. We got to get the legislature to put it on the ballot because it's local. It's not something the state can do on its own right now. To do the property tax overhaul so that people, one, can stay in their homes. I mean, we have elderly people that are having to sell their homes because they can't afford to keep paying the property tax. And it's like, well, you know, you need service, you need all that, but like for 50 years, you're just supposed to just keep, when does it end? And it's not, and it doesn't end for folks. So people are having to do that. That's wrong. But then also younger people in this country are being priced out of the American dream. I mean, you look at how much more expensive things are today from what they were 5 years ago. You know, it's dramatic in so many different areas. Housing costs, obviously, you know, or that. And look, the market goes up and down. There's weakness in the housing market. Maybe it'll come back down to earth. It's, you know, it's beyond the control of the state government how all that works. But these things are cyclical. But for the last 4 or 5 years, it's been very difficult. Wouldn't it be good to have young families be able to purchase a home and get relief from those property tax so they're not having to fork over $2-3 grand a year for that? So there's a lot of positives that will come to that relief. And so people will say, oh, you know, you can never do that, you can never do that. And I think what they're showing with what Blaze is doing, with what our teams are doing, is to show, well, wait a minute. You know, we've got places around this state like Broward. They haven't really had population growth on net, but they've had a 60% increase in their budget over the last 4 or 5 years. Why do they need 60%? Why should you pay more or have to keep doing this on property tax so that they can increase budget 60%? So I think what we're showing is, you know, and here it's just natural. This is a natural thing with government. A gusher of revenue comes in because the values are going up, and some of these locals actually raise millage on top of that, which is wrong, but they did do that. So you have a gusher of revenue coming in, and what do politicians do with that revenue? I can tell you, they don't do what we did at the state level and pay down half the debt. That's not what they typically do. They typically spend it, and so then the spending goes up. And we don't want people to have to continue to be in this property tax situation simply to fund the increases in that. I mean, especially your personal residence, right? I mean, people say, oh, what about like, you know, Airbnb? Fine. I want Florida residents in their home to be able to own that and have that be meaningful without having to continue to pay rent for the government indefinitely. So what the DOJ is doing is really showing there's a lot of room for an overhaul here. particularly with local governments. And we just want to make sure that taxpayers are being respected. And I listed the statistics about the state of Florida, how our budget, was more last year and less and more the year it's gone down, how we're paying off debt, tax cuts, all this stuff. But yet we're still doing it with our universities, we're doing it with our state agencies, because, look, if we can find other ways to do things, we want to make sure we're doing the best that we can for taxpayers. But let's just be clear, nobody is being pinched by higher taxes at the state level. We've cut taxes dramatically, and we'll continue to do that. But, we're running out of taxes to cut in Florida at the state level. That's why I really want to get these property taxes and deal with those at the local level, because I think that is the best way that we can provide relief for people throughout the state of Florida. And so to talk about some of the findings and some of the things that his team and our team have been working on is Blaise Ngolia. He's been chief financial officer now for a few months. And I don't think anybody's made more of an impact in that role in my lifetime in Florida than he has since he's been in there. He's been a real bulldog on all these issues, really standing up for taxpayers and working to pave a way so that we have meaningful property tax overhaul in the state of Florida. And I appreciate what he's doing. I knew he'd be very strong on it, because he had been very strong on as a state senator. All the things people talk about in Florida, all these big wins that we've put on the board, he was behind most of those as a state senator, particularly on the immigration. They just, DHS just announced Florida leading the way by far on arresting criminal aliens and illegal aliens of anywhere in the country, working with them. And that wouldn't have happened without people like Blaise fighting for that in the Florida Senate. So I appreciate what he's done. I appreciate what he's doing. And he's worked very hard on this, and he's got a lot to say. So come on up, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Better be careful, because after Trump sees this, he might come swoop in and adopt this guy.
Governor, first I want to thank you for your leadership on this issue. If you've ever paid attention to the governor's career, you would notice that the governor is in tune with what grassroots people, everyday Floridians, are feeling. He's always a year or 2 years ahead of the curve. He understands what's going on in our community, so much to the point that he starts talking about it way before other elected officials ever do. And this is just another in the long lines of one of those issues, particularly a pocketbook issue, that has been creeping up on us over the past 2 years. I had the pleasure of having a conversation with the governor a couple of years ago, and the governor said, look, property taxes are starting to get out of hand, aren't they? And I said, as a builder, yes, I can see that. They absolutely 100% are. Now, how does he know that? It's because he's listening to everyday people. He's on Twitter, he's on Facebook, he's listening to people, and he's understanding that people are getting priced out of their homes, and we do have an affordability issue here in the state of Florida. One, because everyone wants to move here, because Florida is the freedom state and there's opportunity here. But the other is because governments have become reckless and going wild with our tax dollars. So, Governor, thank you for being ahead on this issue, just like you have been ahead on many other issues. There are some good friends we see in the audience today, School Board Member April Carney and Councilman Nick O'Halloran. Thank you for coming here. I really appreciate that. So, our office has been going around doing these FAFO audits or calculations over the past couple of months, just trying to explain to people how your local government is taxing you to the hilt. We think that they are excessively spending and wastefully spending to the tune of billions of dollars. Now, your local governments are going to come out and say that, no, we can't do that because we're going to have to cut fire, we're going to have to cut police. That is just absolute BS. So let me explain the methodology and how we're going to get to these numbers. The first is that we went back to pre-COVID numbers in 2019, and we found out what the government budgets were. And then we indexed every year for inflation and population and a government inefficiency factor, and we figured out what the budgets should normally be in today. And then we compared it to what it actually is. And the numbers are absolutely astounding. Now, this is all publicly available information, right? It's in their own budgets. It's unfortunate, but some of the mayors and county commissioners in these areas probably just never even read their own budget because they have no idea what's in it. In fact, we had to tweet at them with screenshots of their own budget just to prove that what we were saying was correct and what they were saying was incorrect. But these numbers are astounding. In Orange County alone, $190 million of this year's budget is wasteful and excessive, way past what it should be with inflation and population, right? And that's assuming that they're not running efficient. You could probably cut way more. In fact, our number for Orange County is probably closer to $230 million. The city of Jacksonville, $199 million worth of wasteful and excessive spending. I'm sorry, Donna Deegan, you're saying that you can't cut, you need every dollar. The taxpayers disagree with you. Hillsborough County, $278 million worth of excessive, wasteful spending. Alachua County, $84 million. We were in Broward yesterday unveiling their number, $189 million of wasteful and excessive spending. Waste and excess that you, the taxpayers, are footing the bill for. All total, with just those 5 counties, we are almost $1 billion worth of the citizens of the state of Florida being overtaxed in just those 5 counties. $1 billion. Now imagine when we get to every city and every county. You could see how that number could easily be in the tens of billions of dollars. So when people start talking about property tax relief and property tax reform and getting rid of property taxes on homesteaded properties, they say you can never do it. You disagree. We vehemently disagree. You could just do that by going back to the 2019, 2020 levels of government pre-COVID. It would be easy to do. So do not believe it when bureaucrats and career tax and spend politicians say that they need every dime of your money because they are just not being truthful to you. So to put it in context, today, those 5 counties could have easily cut their budgets by $1 billion. Easily cut their budgets by $1 billion and never ever have to worry about funding fire, never have to worry about funding police, never have to worry about funding essential services. And let me be clear, and this is probably more for the cameras and people listening to my voice right now. If you are a city or a county that is planning on putting a tax referendum raise on the ballot in November 26, expect a knock on our door from us. If you are a county or a city that raised their millage rate a couple of weeks ago and actually raised property taxes on people this year when people are hurting, you can expect a call from our office. We are going to show the people in your cities and your counties just how much excessive waste, fraud, and abuse that you have, and then you can make the argument to your constituents why you raised taxes when people were feeling the pinch. But government apologists are out en masse. We have said this from day one. You're going to have people, including tax and spend career politicians on both sides of the aisle. You're going to have their allies in the liberal media writing opinions. They are going to try to give every single excuse for keeping government at the levels that they're at. There is no excuse other than expanding government beyond everyone's wildest dreams. They're going to tell you they're going to have to cut fire and police. That is hogwash. In our calculations, we account for inflation, population. We account for them hiring more police and more fire because of increased population. We account for raises for government employees and law enforcement. We account for all of that. The number of $1 billion is in excess of all of that. They are going to say you have specific examples of people making excuses. The mayor of Orange County, Deming, said, well, we're a tourist area. This is all tourism dollars, and that's why we have to spend more. He said that a couple of weeks ago, so we pulled the data. There was actually more people, more tourists visiting Orange County in 2019 than they were last year, 2014. So they can't excuse it on tourism. And I'm going to tell everyone this. The same way last year, when Donald Trump got elected, that everyone said that we have an immigration problem. And the left told you, don't believe it. Nobody cares about the issue. When the left kept on saying nobody cares about woke issues, right, what happened? They all got voted out. And Donald Trump got elected president. The left and your tax and spend politicians are as tone deaf on the issue of property taxes as they were on this issue. We are out here not only telling people that, yes, they can cut their budgets, but we are also hopefully changing behavior, because it's about time, I think, that city governments and cities and counties know that somebody is watching out for them and being a taxpayer advocate for them in Tallahassee. But here's the deal. They could easily cut your property taxes. They are choosing not to. It is a conscious choice not to cut your property taxes. Before we get into some of these specifics, I do want to talk about a couple of other things as affordability, right? We know that affordability is the issue. It's an issue that the governor and I and members of the legislature have been tackling, and we will continue to tackle, because it is an important issue here for Floridians. And local governments will speak out both sides of their mouths. Local governments are the biggest hypocrites when it comes to affordable housing and affordability issues. They will go and try to fund affordable housing, give it to nonprofits, they'll try to subsidize rents and all. The easiest way to give people an affordable house is to cut their property taxes. That's part of the payment. But they refuse to do that. They just want to subsidize others to do it. Local governments, if you want to help solve the affordability issue and make homes more affordable, cut your property taxes. That will cut their housing payments. Another last thing, there is a big difference, as the governor said, between what local governments are doing and what the state is doing. This man has been a tremendous ally to the state of Florida when it comes to taxes and holding government accountable. Not only have we socked away money year after year in the rainy day fund so we can go out and rebuild our communities after hurricanes, build the roads faster and quicker and better than ever before, but in addition to that, every year in the legislature, I was in the legislature for 10 years.
All right, so Shady, he basically summed it up. That was Blaise Ngoli. He is the fifth chief financial officer, chief financial officer, CFO, chief financial officer of Florida since July 2025, and he's already making a difference. Let's just understand this real quick. If you're in Orange County, you need to go to your local government and say that you're $190 million of waste and fraud and abuse, okay? You need to get local, guys. $199 million in Jacksonville, $278 million in Hillsborough County, $84 million in Alachua County, and $189 million in Broward. Just those 5 counties alone are $1 billion of wasteful, excessive spending of your property taxes, okay? You guys need to get out there, get loud, be proud, and be heard, Shady.
This was an amazing event that I saw yesterday. If you guys maybe drop the link to them if they want to continue to watch that, he goes into from here and starts to excoriate the mayor of Jacksonville and specifically pinpoints the corruption, guys. This is an amazing thing. The reason that this is significant is because this is an anomaly. This is something that we as Americans should see in every corner of our society, but very rarely see. It's like a snipe. You're not even sure if it really exists. That's government employees talking about government corruption and saying we're here and we're elected and we're going to root it out below us. And these local communities have lost their freaking minds. When have you seen it? You don't see it. We should see it everywhere. And this goes right along perfectly with some of the rhetoric that we saw, or the language that we saw out of Stephen Miller yesterday, and what is going on with law and order in some of these other nutbag cities that have been run by nutbag Democrats that seem to somehow think that illegal immigrants and people deciding that they're not the gender that they are is more important than the people that pay the freaking bills. And that is just absurd. It's ridiculous. It's globalism. It's open society. It's whatever you want to call it. It's not America. And I was very encouraged to hear that yesterday. I was excited. I called Jeff. I was like, Jeff, you got to listen to this guy. He's like, I'm busy. I was like, I don't care.
Listen to him. Kuhn says 47 states have failed their Doge test. I'm surprised it's not all 50.
I do not doubt that. Yeah, which 3 passed?
Is it all 57 states like Obama said?
Yeah, it said the 3 that didn't pass, or the 7 that Obama didn't realize weren't states.
And I want to bring this in too, because, all of these politicians are funded by dark money, guys. Okay. And President Trump actually alluded to it today as well. By the way, I want to thank DQ. I got it here. This is source Open Secrets. Zohran Mamdani. Since 2020. Yeah, I guess so. Contributions in 2024, he had 122,000. There's one organization. It says organization unavailable for these records, $95,496. Can't find it. Service Employees International Union, 2,000. So somebody was able to hide their donation name. Do you think that's a foreign billionaire?
Well, I do.
Wow. Because I want to play this, guys. This is from Fox Business. Best thing that could happen to the Republican Party? A communist mayor in New York City? The Dems have called stone cold crazy. Let's see if I can actually watch here.
You live in New York, man. Get ready, because I think they're going to elect this guy. I don't know, man. What's going on?
Yeah. Let me see if I can get this clip up. Clip up. Okay.
Oh, it's going to work. Today's
we might have a commercial first, so let me just get through the commercial first.
All right,
this is a New York real estate attorney is panicking over a possible Mamdani victory. It's John Castamitas, I think his name is. And let me just get through this ad. It's got 30 seconds, Shady.
Oh, wow. Well, they would much rather see you sit there and me talk about you sitting there than they would ever be about watching that dumb ad on that video from, what was it, Fox News? Fox News, probably.
Fox News Business.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah, so let's just go
Don't listen to anything these people say on TV, man.
And it's actually an ad for the MG show.
Oh, really? Well, then we should play that.
No. All right, here we go. Check it out.
City Mayor Eric Adams is out of the mayoral race. He dropped out earlier this week as we are now 34 days away from the election in the Big Apple. Democrat socialist Zohran Mamdani going on offense, launching attacks against opponent Andrew Cuomo and President Trump on the campaign trail. Watch this.
We are standing here on Billionaire's Row, or as I call it, Avenue Andrew. While I'm fighting for Eric Adams' voters, Andrew Cuomo is fighting for Eric Adams' donors. New York City deserves better than yet another mayor bought by billionaires. He is being funded by Trump-supporting billionaires, by the very people that have funded Donald Trump's return to the White House. I think Donald Trump is going through the stages of grief. I think the first stage was denial, that we could ever be on the precipice of winning this race. I think the stage that he has now reached is somewhat of acceptance. Yet he continues to ask himself what he could do to stop our campaign.
The latest Fox polls find Mamdani still holds a double-digit lead in a hypothetical three-way race between himself, Andrew Cuomo, and Republican Curtis Sliwa. A note that this poll was taken before Adams dropped out. Joining me now is the chairman and CEO of New York City grocers Gristedes and D'Agostino's, John Catsimatidis, who has a big stake in all of this. John, it's great to see you.
Well, Maria, it's always good to be with you, and a lot of things happening. I think we have 33 days left to the election, and a lot of New Yorkers, especially the real estate industry, is panicking because they're afraid that if they have $1 billion worth of real estate, tomorrow morning, 32 days from now, it might be worth half the price.
What are you going to do, John? You've got to make a decision. Are you going to back Andrew Cuomo, or are you going to back Curtis Sliwa?
Well, I've been running a campaign, ABZ, anybody but Zohran. And right now that Mayor Eric Adams is out, and I think he got an unfair thing. He never got any finance control board money, and still we don't know why not. It's a Democratic town. I think President Trump has said that it's more likely that Cuomo beats Zohran than anybody else.
So you're going to get behind Cuomo?
Well, I think that anybody but Zohran, if Cuomo has the best chance of winning, then I would support him. Curtis is a member of our family, Curtis Sliwa, and if he got elected, it's not the end of the world. He knows New York City better than anybody else. But the fact is, it's a Democratic town, and what Cuomo has to say, I'm the real Democrat. Zohran is a socialist.
Yeah.
And if that message goes out to all Democratic people that he's not a real Democrat, he's a socialist. If you saw some of the videos of him addressing the Socialist Party, I mean, it sounds worse than Castro.
Nobody shows those videos.
American people have to come to a reality. And
I can show them.
Last mayoral election, 23% of the people voted. That's not acceptable.
Yeah. Well, the smallest electorate came out and they voted for Bill de Blasio. Remember that one? Look, how is it possible that Zohran Mamdani is as popular as he is? Who is funding this guy?
Pay very specific attention to this.
There's money coming in. He doesn't go, Maria, he doesn't go from 1% to 50% without money. There's accusations, and let the Department of Justice do their own homework. There's accusations that foreign money is involved. The joke we told last time on Fox was we bought Manhattan Island from the Indians for $24. Some foreigners are trying to buy it back.
Wow.
No, there is foreign money involved. If they can prove that he knows there was foreign money, don't forget, his mother's movies are funded by the Qataris.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Aha. So is Candace Owens. Wow.
The reason why we're watching this race so badly and so closely is because this is where the Democrat Party is going.
Well, they said, the Socialist Party has said, we will take over the entire Democratic Party by 2028. And the Democratic Party has the common sense. There's common sense people in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
They have to say enough is enough. And somebody has to have the courage to put their foot down.
The problem is you can't say enough is enough when foreign billionaires are drowning you out with the cash.
Crazy.
And Donald Trump posted this, guys. Okay. We know about Arabella Advisors. We know about George and Alex Soros. We know about Hans-Jörg Wyss. Everybody seems to forget that name. And Pierre Omidyar, and then Reid Hoffman, and then Bill Gates. Foreign and domestic billionaires, they're able to do it because of a 501c4 rule where you don't have to list everybody's donor's name, okay? You can take donations from people that you don't know, allegedly, right? And that's what they're doing. And it's the dig that we've done. What, is it 4 years now that we've been talking about this? Mm-hmm. And nobody still can say the name Hans-Jörg Wyss?
Nobody can even articulate the issue. Like they have the platform. You were just watching an episode on TV where Fox Business, they have a platform they can actually discuss the problem, couldn't they? Couldn't they? They could show you what he talks about. They could show you whenever he says, oh, well, you should see what the guy says in his speeches he's giving to socialists. Why don't we see it? How did you see it? And why don't we have the clip? Why can't Fox News show the clip? People would maybe know who the guy was. I got a feeling, it's very interesting. There's a couple different tracks that this is going on right here. Number one, I feel like New York deserves him. Because, I mean, if you're sitting around and you got all these people that own all this property in New York and all of them are sitting there and they're still tucking their tail between their legs and bowing their heads to the woke left, you're gonna deserve what you get. I'm sorry. It's like, number two, the political atmosphere in New York is an absolute abysmal. And, maybe they don't do as good in this election as they think they do, because I have a feeling that Juan and Pedro aren't going to be as excited about heading down to the polls come, the election day this year. They're going to be a little bit concerned about maybe being spotted. And this guy, Zohran Mamdani, whatever this guy's name is, guys, this dude, this guy is just like the mayor in London. Okay, think about what the mayor in London is doing right now, like over there, like arresting people for social media posts and like trying to like dictate the specifics of personal life. This dude is that dude on crack. I promise you, you can pretend like I'm full of crap all you want to, but you can see it plain as day.
Wow, Shady. That's a good one right there. I like it. I like the the London comparison. I think you're absolutely right. And that's what the foreign billionaires that own the Federal Reserve, okay, through the train companies, like we'll talk about on Friday. It's all clear. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, Shady.
And to me, it connects to this Candace Owens thing. Candace Owens' husband is a Tavistock agent. Like, he's out here to spread chaos. They're all trying to divide MAGA. Remember Antifa? Use Israel to divide MAGA. Why does all of these other, just because you claim you're like some sort of Q follower or an anon, doesn't mean you are independent of that reality. You're using Israel to divide MAGA on a non sequitur, a non-starter, a conflated perspective. You're like blaming a piece of land in the Middle East for your problem.
Let's talk about that.
I thought
Antifa wants to divide MAGA, and who funds Antifa? Foreign domestic billionaires.
Probably
wow.
The same people that
so the same people, Antifa, want to divide MAGA with Israel, and then we got people that are MAGA allegedly wanting to divide us on Israel.
But we're supposed to think that that's somehow different, and they're not like pro-Palestinian. We're supposed to think that they're not like the same as the people occupying Columbia University just because they pretend like they supported Donald Trump. Now they're out there drawing devil horns on him with Netanyahu. People that used to pretend like that they were like fans of this show are now out there like drawing devil horns on Donald Trump and acting like he's somehow in bed with Satan. They agree with South Park. They literally agree. It's like they're all the same. And you can clearly see that the sleepers have now woken up and activated. Tucker, Candace, MJ Truth, all of you nut jobs out there acting like, you know, that this piece of land in the Middle East somehow killed Charlie Kirk, and this piece of land in the Middle East somehow rules over Donald Trump.
That's right. That's right. Again, this is, how it works, guys. This is right here. This is, the 501c3 and 501c4 tax exempt status. And then the 501c4, you don't need to give your names for all donations. 501c3, you got to list every penny. But these are the donors of how the dark money works. It's only George Soros. No, it's liberal billionaires such as Hans-Jörg Wyss, Pierre Omidyar. Who's he? Co-founder of eBay. Okay, and then George Soros, but his son should be here now because he took it over. And then you got Bill and Melinda Gates of hell, Reid Hoffman, and others. Right, we know who they are. And then you've got the alumni. Wow, the Arabella Advisors group who was the Biden surrogate mouthpiece. Jen Psaki was chief of staff, right? And she was working with the Hopewell Fund, guys. Okay, the North Fund is where all the lawfare came from. All of these funds funded Antifa.
Yes.
It's all there.
They're anarchists. Okay, they're not anti-fascist. They are anarchists hiding under some sort of stupid banner, pretending like they're anti-fascist. They don't know anything about it. They don't realize that it started in Russia. They don't realize that it was a pretend. It was actually a power grab and a coordination that was going on. They have no idea where it comes from, and they have no idea how anarchy. They are calling their anarchy the way of the world. That's what they want. The cities covered in needles is not a mistake. People going to the bathroom in the cities is not a mistake. That's the society that they want for you. They've been engineering it specifically for you, and they're trying to convince you that nothing can be done about it. Right now, we are currently fixing it. Think about it like you want to think about it like TV. Yeah. Think about it like Batman. We're cleaning this mess up.
And, I want to just give a shout out to John Nance, who's watching the show today. Thank you very much for joining us today. This is, he reposted the show. I really appreciate that, sir. Also, he reposted this, okay? Because we're actually talking about this whole op that is happening on X, okay? And Rumble, okay? Yeah. All these influencers that are turning. Let me just, and then there's another one that's coming in. We need to understand, and we're going to dig on this too. Kiria Cow, Kira Cow. This is new. He was on RT. He's been on Serafin's show, and Alex, I believe. I don't know, but the operation is very, very much this. It's all of these people. You got a pattern of connections, guys. You got Serafin, Jones, Flynn's, Steve Friend, Tucker, Morello, all of the Flynn Network bots. They're all doing this op, and they all have foundations for a reason. We know Flynn has a foundation. You think real, normal people are actually donating to that? Like everyday people? That was a psyop. The amount of money that we donated doesn't equivalent to, after his legal fees are done, over $1 million that he kept, and Mary kept $250,000. That we did not donate all that, guys. Listeners of this show did not donate all that. I did not. They were being paid off by foreign billionaires. And who is Qatar? Who loves Qatar, Patrick Byrne?
That's the one right in the
Who
center of it.
who was an FBI agent to allegedly Operation Snow Globe
Another
frame Hillary Clinton?
Patrick Byrne,
Yeah.
the money man for General Flynn.
Interesting. So you're all starting to see it. And then we've got, all these people that acted like they were anti-Flynn, but they weren't.
No, they were not.
Because they wanted to keep that going because maybe it made us look bad or whatever. But I stand strong on my research for the January 6th involvement of General Charles Flynn. Okay. I stand and Michael Flynn on the ground with Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. It's all there. You can watch A Storm Foretold by Roger Stone actually filming it. They wanted President Trump to sign off on, what is it called, Shady?
On the Insurrection Act.
And that would have screwed President Donald Trump, guys.
They would have been able to convict him of treason if he'd have signed that for General Flynn.
Yeah.
And Patrick Byrne. They were in there shoving it in his face, and his lawyers were like, "You've got to be kidding me." And then Patrick Byrne goes out and writes this huge book about how Rudy Giuliani was the problem.
My gosh, guys, marching to the same beat, guys. And there's a reason why they're marching to the same beat. There's a reason why the Democrats are marching to the same beat, okay? They're probably more afraid of their handlers, their foreign, donating through all these different organizations to make it look like it came from America, but it ultimately came from foreign money, okay? 501c3s, and then the 501c3s donate to those candidates and whatnot. But, this is one to, you've got the handlers at top, alt media and U.S. politicians. They're all controlled. Listen for the ones that scream the loudest. The ones that are screaming the loudest, you need to find those connections because they are 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. You got primary affiliate A, primary affiliate B, primary affiliate C, all marching to the same beat. Is this a coincidence? Logical thinking will always prevail, Shady.
And whenever you start to connect these things, that's when they start calling you a conspiracy theorist.
That's right. That's right.
Because they say it's not connected, because they just claim it's not connected. When you can clearly see the money moves from here into here, and then it's spent there. So who else was in control of it?
And we'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20% and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back in stock special, and a closeout deal you won't find anywhere else. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get our MyPillow bed sheets only $29.88. Any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. Once they're gone for good. How about our My Towels? They're finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first time and the only time ever, get our limited edition premium My Pillows. They're made with Giza cotton and designer gusset. Queen $17.98, Kings only $19.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
To mypillow.com or call 800-873-0478 and use promo code MGSHOW. Use your promo code for the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now.
Three, two, one, let's go.
What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm a model.
Wow, like runway model?
OnlyFans model.
Damn, are you expensive?
The Matrix is a system, Neo.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
That system is full of degenerates. When you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of the woke system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to pick up a biology textbook, and many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on their pronouns that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the dude in the red dress? A dude? Look again.
Cancel him!
Who is it? That wasn't a woman?
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you might marry one of them.
What are they?
Transformers. They can move in and out of any gender, regardless of their chromosomes. That means that anyone coming out of the female bathroom is potentially a ladyboy. Inside the Matrix, they can identify as anything, but in reality, it's just delusion.
We have survived by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are at the Diddy parties. They are guarding all the doors while they are touching all the kids, which means that sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them. Someone. I won't lie to you, Neo. Every single man or woman who has stood their ground, everyone who has fought this agenda got canceled. But where they have failed, you will succeed. Why? I've seen an agent identify as a concrete wall. Men have emptied entire clips at them and hit nothing but air. Yet their strength and their speed are still based in a world that is built on rules. Because of that, they will never be as strong or as fast as you can be.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge lawsuits?
No, Neo. If you identify as an innocent human being, you won't have to.
I identify as an innocent human being.
Shady posted that edit a while back, and I saw it, and I just wanted to play it for you. Wow, that really, made me laugh. Because it's true. That's why I want out of the Matrix. I came in because we're in the Matrix, and I want out. I think we all want out of this Matrix of bull crap. What do you think?
We survived by hiding and running from them.
Oh my God.
That is so epic. I saw that, man. I was like, dude, that is like unbelievably accurate. It's so accurate on such an esoteric level of like who these people are and the idea of what the Matrix movie means about and again, and how it correlates with the life that we've been living here on this show with the MG show and our personal journey in particular. No, we did not think, we knew that we were going to upset them. Whenever we started doing this broadcast, we knew that we were going to mock them and upset them, and then we were going to activate people that we didn't realize were who they actually turned out to be. we did not realize that we were going to activate the whole system on the left and the right paradigm of American psychological operations. And what we have come to understand and learn is that there is no discernible difference between the operations that are being levied against the Democrat human beings in America by the left and the operations that are being unleashed against the Republican human beings of America by the sinister creatures on the right, okay?
That's right.
We are stuck in the middle of these people, and that right there perfectly represents how we have to navigate. They are nothing to us. That's the way we navigate. We move away from them step by step into the golden age, leaving them behind, and they will stay and persist within their confines of their fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They do not know Jesus. They live in fear, and they're trying to project their fear onto us every single day. And if you show the least bit of sign that you're not afraid, there they are right there to try to instill in you why you should be afraid. I'm done with it. We are done with it. We are moving so far past them here, and God bless each and every one of you that can see through it.
Yeah, and we've got the anti-Israel narrative. So I actually think I have a proof that Trump. So what does Israel want to do with Gaza? They want it, right?
They wanted. Oh, yeah. You could say that the powers that be in Israel wanted to occupy Gaza.
So would that mean that Trump would would support that, right?
Yes, that means that Trump would be, because Trump is a puppet of the powers that be in Israel. He would be right there doing whatever they tell him so that he could help build their sinister plan.
So let's show you. It's the Jews read. This is not the Jews. This is President Trump's post yesterday at 7:28 p.m. Okay, statement of support for Middle East peace deal. Okay, it's exactly the opposite. It looks like the Middle East is supporting President Trump, doesn't it?
It does.
Huh. So President Trump posts that the Middle East peace deal gains support. From Australia, China, EU, France, Germany, Italy, Russia, Spain, UK, and more back Trump's plan. It calls for Hamas to 1, release the hostage, 2, end the violence, and support a 2-state solution, which is gaining mixed reactions from Israel. But what? Doesn't that mean he's going against Israel? Hello?
Yeah, Jeff, because all of the people that are Palestinian-led minded people, they want their 2-state. So Donald Trump is actually advocating for their position, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So in other words, this is what you're saying is he has a way of negotiating tactics with idiot globalists that you don't understand. That's what these people are saying. They don't have any content. People like Candace and Tucker and all these people they're just building their whole reality right now off of Charlie Kirk getting shot. That's what they've done.
And fake,
like it has something to do with Israel.
And fake narratives, all the crap.
So everywhere.
This is my post. It's right here. It says, but Trump is controlled by Israel. Okay? Read it and weep. And look at all that traction. Since I'm not saying Trump is sold out by Israel, I'm only getting 3,000.
Actually, you should have done that. You should have pulled a Dom Luker there and made the reverse headline in your post, because you would have gotten traction. And that's if you're noticing, anybody that's on Twitter, all of that garbage is being fed to you. There's a reason it's being fed to you. Like I said earlier, what was 8chan 10 years ago is now Twitter. They're feeding it to you on purpose so that it devalues what Donald Trump is doing. They want you to think that Donald Trump they want you to think that the globalists have been fighting Donald Trump for 98% of the media coverage negative against him. That was because they were secretly wanting him to actually run America and do all these great things for you.
Yeah.
It's such an unbelievable logical fallacy. And so much of what we said to you before about look yourself in the mirror, say it to yourself in the mirror, think about trying to say it to a friend of yours. Can you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Like that reality is pervasive and everybody is stuck in this stupid thing.
And it's funny, Shady. Actually, it's not funny. So just yesterday, they released Charlie Kirk's full letter to Netanyahu. Okay. This letter, it was to, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has been published in full. This is the letter. It's actually reading it to you. If you guys, don't want to read it, this reads it to you. But it's the accusations that had initially been misrepresented. The letter has been a point to contention among conservatives who have been feuding about Kirk's views on Israel. No, these are fake MAGA. They're bots. They're foreign bots that are injecting this crap paid for by foreign billionaires. And then there's regular people that have been on the anti-Israel for a long time, which jump on the bandwagon. But he was shot dead while speaking in Utah, right, as we know. Netanyahu quoted the letter when he spoke about Kirk in the aftermath of his assassination, but conservative podcaster Candace Blowens was friends with Kirk first, said Netanyahu did not give the letter proper context. So you can read it yourself. And Ambassador Mike Huckabee even had to comment. Now, you know what I find is funny is everybody saying that letter is fake now, because we can't believe anything anymore without some discernment, right? Like, you guys have been so mind melted about Israel and Charlie Kirk's death that you can't even think straight anymore. Pull your head out of the sand.
But there's also all of this stuff that's going on with the narratives about Israel and understanding the connection of what Israel really is and how the Schofield interpretations in the Bible ran people astray on what it is talking about in the Bible and what Israel really was, and everybody wants to connect it and make people think that it doesn't. I'm gonna leave it there, but there's so many different fake narratives around this. Israel was created by the Balfour Agreement, by the bloodline families who were controlling the church. The reason that a bunch of people jumped into a bunch of leaky boats to come to a place one day to where they thought they could be free was to flee the church's reign and rule. I know that's very hard for people to understand, considering that, we're kind of awash in it here. But the reality is we left Europe. Protestant Christians left Europe to get away from the church.
Yeah, but let me get back to Ambassador Huckabee having to address you mind-melted idiots disrespecting Charlie.
Kind of you, Jeff.
I'm
very
sorry.
Kind.
It's just very, and they're doing the same thing with Alexis Wilkins. Okay, she's not Mossad. Prove me wrong. Oh well, a CEO.
No, you've got to prove it. No. See, that's the same thing they do. They generate something that's completely fake and has no bearing in reality whatsoever. Then they throw it to you and say, "Prove it wrong." No, dude, you've got to prove your dumb theory right.
Yeah.
It's not on me to prove your dumb theory wrong. You don't have any evidence. All you have is conjecture and circumstance and nothing factual, whatever. Just a bunch of bloviating.
But we're just asking questions.
It's an influencer, Jeff.
You're not just asking questions. You're running a narrative. And if you're not knowingly running the narrative, you're still running the narrative.
Well, you're either dumb and pretty much like borderline retarded, or you're running a narrative.
Yeah. Mikey, thank you. $10 just because. Love you too, brother. So let's get into Mike Huckabee having to actually comment about this bullshit. Okay?
It's crazy that we're having.
I have not commented extensively on the assassination of Charlie Kirk because it's been difficult for me to process. Before leaving for Israel to become Donald Trump's appointed U.S. ambassador, I had to divest from all my activities, including my weekly and daily TV shows. I turned my daily show over to Charlie Kirk. I've known him since he was 19. He was a guest many times on my television shows. My last daily show was his first as we made the handoff. During the course of our taping in his Phoenix studio, we talked during a break off the air. He told me that he was jealous of me becoming the ambassador to Israel because it was one thing that he would love to do because he loved Israel. I haven't mentioned this publicly as the comments were off the air while we were chatting during a break, and I didn't want something to allege that I made up a story. This week, I received a message from one of his team who was in the studio and an eyewitness to the conversation. Having a witness verify my remembrance gave me comfort in telling what happened. I'm so disappointed in people with media platform who have disparaged Charlie's name and his views by alleging that Charlie had become an anti-Israel. This story in the New York Post reveals the full text of a 7-page letter Charlie sent to Israeli PM, which defies the self-serving influencers trying to twist the truth. In the first paragraph of the letter, he mentions taking over my TV show before offering very sound advice to the prime minister about the importance of the quote message war that Israel must play in a world of anti-Semitic hate. I hope you will read the New York Post story in full, including the full letter. Let it hopefully end the vicious lies that Charlie had turned against Israel, or even more ridiculous blood libel stated or inferred. that Israel had something to do with Charlie's death. Charlie was the most remarkable young man I knew. He was the most well-informed, factually sound, compassionate, and articulate person in our culture. He was an authentic, as a Christian believer, as I've ever known. I grieve for his death, but rejoice that his evil, hell-conceived murder has caused millions to turn his message, perhaps out of curiosity, but who may have touched, inspired, and even transformed by his message. May his memory be a blessing. And it is. Again, the same people running all these narratives are the same people running all these narratives. It's, and it's the people we identified, the Flynn network that act like, oh, we love, but then you can't, Flynn's not in the administration, but we got to love Flynn. He's not in the administration. He's irrelevant. I don't get 3 stars for General Flynn. I don't care. I don't care about him. I care about people like Huckabee, who's in the administration. I care about people like, Tulsi, who's in the administration. People that are in the administration today, not the ones that get fired in 23 days for lying. Okay?
It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear now for you to see. And I'm glad. I'm glad for this. I'm glad for this moment right now. I'm glad that we're only 9 months into this administration because we're getting ready to wring the necks of these people the way we've wrung the necks of the Democrats for the last 8 years. It's not going to last. It's not going to persist. They've got no momentum. They've got no legs. And the only thing that they've got is a group of about 3.5 million General McChrystal bots. That's what they're utilizing. That's the network. That's the system. That's what they utilize to function within all of these countries that are, quote, third world countries where we have a CIA instigated coup / puppet government are being run by these same people online. That's the way that globalism has been led to function. We are breaking that down, guys. We're breaking that network down on so many levels. And this whole Israel thing has kicked the can because first it was Epstein. Before any of this Israel stuff started with Charlie Kirk, it was Epstein, and they were screaming and yelling at you, telling you that Epstein was this big pedophile ringleader who would literally pimp out children to high brass politicians. Well, guess what? That wasn't the con. We can pretty much see clearly now that it was about people feeding girls to Epstein, and Epstein making deals with foreign countries and making deals with arms dealers and making deals for probably tons and tons of other things that were going on around the world that had nothing to do with the microscopic thing that all of these Flynn people forced everybody to focus on and not see the big picture, not see the family of Ghislaine Maxwell, pretend like it's all about this dude, Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein is not a bloodline. Ghislaine Maxwell is the bloodline. She was the one that was wielding control. And if you listen to her content when she talks about this stuff, you can clearly see that she is not, or that she was the one that was in charge of the stuff that was going on. It wasn't Jeffrey Epstein. So it started with Epstein, and it's moved to this stuff with Israel and Charlie Kirk. It's the exact same people, and they're just making hay. We would call this in the mountains of North Carolina. You're making hay. You're making nothing. You're trying to make something out of nothing. You're literally just running around in your own circles, and you're saying absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And it's just time to use your common sense, guys. And that's why, we actually, follow Trump. Okay, not some fired in 23 days networks that wanted him as VP. That same Flynn network didn't want JD Vance in Ohio. That same network didn't want Citronelli in Virginia.
By the way, that's a great point. Stick on him for just a second. This guy he's got a potential to win. They were this dude that the Citronelli guy in New Jersey lost to that Flynn pimped up. That guy that they pimped up got 10% of the vote. Yep. This dude is standing tall. He's 1-to-1 with the current race, and without the illegal vote, he might actually win. So again, our theory is correct that General Flynn is intentionally propping up candidates that are terrible and can't win, and they're pretending like real conservative candidates are rhinos whenever in all reality they're MAGA.
Yeah.
Ann Vandersteel was calling Trump a Trojan horse yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Literally in her post,
completely.
she said that, now the Donald Trump and MAGA is the Trojan horse. Do you understand that, Calm? That is a comm from the military-industrial complex to you. Ann Vandersteel, the mouthpiece of General Flynn, said yesterday that Donald Trump and MAGA are a Trojan horse because of their cooperation and because of their incentives to make right with the pharmaceutical companies and what's going on over there. That's the reason they're saying it. That means that they are re-engineering a preconceived narrative. People that were saying they're putting devil horns on Donald Trump, saying that he's Israel, are the same as that. It's a preconceived narrative, meaning it's proof that they were never pro-Trump. They were never MAGA.
And I want to show you this too. This is Health Ranger, Ann Vandersteel, Emerald Robinson, Mary, whatever, MD, this guy Murray, and then they're all marching to the same beat. Remember we talked about affiliate A, B, and C?
Mockingbird Media.
They're all using that as they're using Pfizer as an excuse to attack Make America Healthy Again and President Trump, guys.
And they all block us.
Yep. So we can't tell you. Five times August, Murray, Mary Bailey, Bowden, MD, Health Ranger, who kicked us off his network. Thank God. We were his top show, too, by the way. We even beat you. Emerald Robinson and Ann Vandersteel, Shady.
So all those people block us. So we can't. The reason that they blocked me, or specifically, more than likely they blocked Jeff, but I know that they blocked me, is because I'm in their comments making comments that derail their narrative, and they read it and they see that they can't argue with me, they can't debate me on the point that I just made, so they block me and erase my comment.
Yeah. And somebody just said Q is an AI. No, there were spelling errors. So you're done. Spelling on the move. That's AI. No, I'm sorry, buddy. Anyways, just wanted to answer that for you. Hope that answered your question. We lived it, and it's you can say who is what. The information that we have in our tool belt because of that operation that Donald Trump ran in 2017, October of 2017, we know bottom to top who did the spy operation, all the way up to Hussein. We've got their names, we've got their initials, we've got Fusion GPS, we've got CrowdStrike, we've got all of it. We've got Perkins Coie, Shell CIA Law Front Company. We know everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. It matters what we've figured out and the actions of what real Donald Trump is doing, because there's proofs here, there's proofs there, there's proofs everywhere, and they're so pesky, Shady.
But the point of it is that what we did was we used it to navigate. We didn't use it as a periodical. We didn't use it as a prophecy. We used it to navigate. Q explained that this information is not going to be relevant in this moment. It's going to be relevant at some time in the future. Learn it, understand it, so that whenever it becomes relevant, you can share it with people and explain to them what's going on. That's the only reason that we've navigated the way that we've been able to navigate this. And it's the only reason we could be so steadfast and confident in what we're saying. We were pretty confident, weren't we, 2.5 years ago, to stand up in the middle of everything. Not a single voice in the room said the truth about General Flynn. But who did? We did. We cut off half of our audience that was on Rumble at that moment, so that we could tell you the truth, okay? Yeah. That is, you want to say we're doing it, and then they want to tell you we did it for money. Let me tell you, we would have paid for money had we just shut our mouths and continued to be part of their dumb little operation, which was, they would retweet us once in a while as like, to give us a crumb. That's what they were doing, pretending like they were associates or colleagues.
Real quick, too, Lisa Blair, 3 stars is propping up a guy that's running against Michael Whatley, who DJT endorsed in North Carolina. Shady.
He's really doing it. He's going against Whatley, the chair of the RNC that got Donald Trump elected is running for office in North Carolina, and you're telling me that General Flynn is calling out and supporting the guy running against him? If that's true, that is amazingly par for the course.
Wow.
That would be like they're Jeff, like whenever you make a hit, every time you get up to the base in baseball, they call it batting 1,000. Mm-hmm. Right? You know how many General Flynn's batting? 0.
I know. Well, he said, anyways, let's just move on. But yeah, I mean, we're done. The guy's not in Trump's administration, Shady. Is he or is he not?
No, he's not. He's actually parking cars at West Point like Benedict Arnold had to do.
I like to think cleaning toilets, but yeah.
Well, Benedict Arnold actually had to park the wagons.
Right.
Remember back in the day. All
right, so let me go into this, Shady Grip. Because, hey, football fanatics, are you ready for some primetime NFL football action? Tune into Westwood One, for all the gridiron glory you crave, from jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-changing plays. Don't miss a moment of the excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, and every victory on Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app, on the Westwood One Sports app, on WestwoodOneSports.com, via Westwood One station streams, or by asking ALEXA to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One.
Boom.
Gotta love it. So let's go into this, Shady, because it looks like somebody is saying we have to wait 61 days of a shutdown to fire anybody. I'm not sure if that's true.
No.
I have to look at that, but I want to. President Trump will be on OAN this evening, and I want to play a bit of it, and then we'll get into Stephen Miller, I think, Shady.
I'm going to say, we have got to get Stephen Miller in here today, or the audience is going to never forgive us.
But first off, let me just have a quick Democrat shutdown break. Here we go.
You'll enjoy this.
Boom. We're bringing the noise. Go, baby, we bringing our toys. Separate men from the boys. Chopper be singing, should be on the voice.
Love it. Love it.
That is
Gosh,
amazing.
you add-ons that make these memes, man, I'm telling you, we love our memers. I'm telling you that right now. We love our memers, Shady.
The government shut. The memes will continue until the government opens.
That's right. That's right. All right. So President Trump was asked about the firings during the shutdown. So let's listen to his answer right here. Check it out.
There was an OMB memo going around suggesting that there might be firings during the shutdown. Do you think that will happen if the shutdown goes for a little bit of time, sir?
Well, there could be firings, and that's their fault. And it could also be other things. I mean, we could cut projects that they wanted, favorite projects, and they'd be permanently cut. So you could say, a lot of people are saying Trump wanted this, that I wanted this closing, and I didn't want it. But a lot of people are saying it because I'm allowed to cut things that should have never been approved in the first place. And I will probably do that.
And I will probably do that, Shady Grove.
I will probably do that.
Right. He didn't say 61 days.
He did not.
No.
It's not going to be 61 days. And all of you people that think the judicial system has something to do with the executive branch are wrong again.
Tinkerbell says, I love you all to pieces. Please spend more time telling us the truths that you have discovered instead of telling us about how cool you are for doing it, and ditch the NFL Westwood One. No.
I'm not going to ditch it. We're not going to ditch the advertisement. No. They're helping us here, guys.
Yes. Thank you for your donation so we don't have to.
Part of our Rumble premium that we're doing here for Rumble puts us in a category where they get to give us ads. And let me explain this just real quick. Are you noticing that we don't stop the show at the top of the hour to take 5 minutes of break to read all those ads anymore? So the 5 minutes that was that we would spend at the beginning of every show for 3 years, we would come in and introduce ourselves. They'd go to 5 minute break so that our ads could get on Red State Talk Radio. And we weren't just playing Red State Talk Radio ads because we're on the radio every day. So now we have partnerships with Rumble, and they are giving us ads to help sponsor the show and keep us on the air. So we had an opportunity to stop doing this and go do something actually fruitful, or continue to do this and let Rumble help us by serving us ads. And we are supportive of Rumble and Rumble Premium.
And thank God for them, too.
Yep, or we would have left.
Yeah.
That's where we were going. We were going to stop doing this.
Yeah. So we love you, too, Tinkerbell. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I voted. Where was I going to go? Yeah, I voted for this, Shady. Let's Miller.
It's Miller time.
Oh, man.
Can you go for a cold one right now?
Oh, man. Here we go.
To the Memphis Police Department, to the officers that I see sitting in front of me, we are about to provide you with a level of support you cannot even imagine. This isn't just a task force. This is a all-of-government unlimited support operation. ATF, DEA, FBI, ICE, Department of War, every resource we have. And they're not going to be sitting behind a desk at a keyboard. We are sending in real cops with guns and badges to go out with you on the street every single night making arrests. These are people who have taken down drug cartels, kingpins, the worst criminal offenders in the United States, standing with you shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. All we ask from you is to show up at roll call every single night with your brothers and sisters in the federal government and to go out and get the criminals off the street. And if you do that, I pledge to you, we will liberate this city from the criminal element that has plagued it for generations. This is not just a strategy shift. This is an attitude shift. We are not going to live in an environment anywhere where there is a street that belongs to a criminal, where there is a neighborhood that belongs to a gang, where there is any physical space anywhere that belongs to anyone other than the law-abiding citizens and families of Memphis. The idea that there is a square inch of block in this city where a citizen doesn't feel safe is unacceptable. This is Memphis. This is the United States of America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over. It's finished.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have a government talking to other governments saying that their bullshit is done. It's finished.
It's over.
I voted for that.
Democrat con is over. You know, the idea that they can control you over chaos and crime is what they've been doing, and that era is over. We are liberating the American lifestyle from chaos. Memphis is going to be number one. I would impart to you that it will not take very long to do this, because there's a certain sector of the population that are in charge of every city, and they put these networks in place under the Clinton administration. These networks have been pouring drugs into your inner city youth for decades at the behest of the counterintelligence operations by the CIA and the networks that the military-industrial complex have built from South America to inundate this country and to weaken and soften us. That's what's been going on. It's not Israel. It's the military-industrial complex in tandem with the Central Intelligence Agencies and some help from the FBI and other portions of law enforcement that we got here. That's the only way we're going to get out of it, is to detangle it from the bottom up. You can't start at the top and work your way down like everybody thinks. You've got to go to the street, and you've got to arrest the people that are getting the drugs from the cartel, and you move up chain from there, and you take them all down.
Yeah. And, you know, it's happening, guys. And then you need to look at who funds all this stuff, like we were talking about before. Then you need to look at the school shooters. I would be more, and the shooters like the guy that assassinated Charlie Kirk. I would be more apt to believe that the military intelligence was behind it as well. We need to understand if he had a therapist. Did he have a therapist? Let's go interview the therapist, guys. Who was the therapist? Was he ex-military? We've got to have answers, okay? We've got to have answers. But they want you to think it's something or somebody else. Why? Because maybe they're protecting the military intelligence agencies? Yes. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes. 100%. That's exactly what they're doing. These people like MJ Truth and Candace Owens, they're protecting the intelligence officers. They're protecting the military-industrial complex. They're protecting whatever it is that's going on in the background to control everybody out of chaos. They will not give you any real information. Okay, that's the reason that we say, that we're always wrong until we're right. Okay, we start out in a different spot than everybody else. People like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, they're going to tell you that they're always right and never wrong.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you that we're always wrong until we're right, because we understand that they say we're wrong.
We go against the grain on both parties. Both people in the fake MAGA hate us, but we think they're MAGA. Right. And the Democrats hate us. I mean, I was actually put on lists, guys.
By both.
None of them. Not one.
Yeah. By both sides. We're on the General Flynn Network list, and we're on the Media Matters list.
Well, that might be the same side.
And it's the same list.
It is the same, because Media Matters was hired to ID. Who did they hire? Maybe they hired the Flynn Intel Group.
Maybe they did. Maybe the Flynn Intel Group was Media Matters. Maybe that's part of the McChrystal bot network.
Maybe that's why General Flynn followed me on 4/18/2018. He identified me. You know, just questions. I'm asking questions.
activated, right?
Yeah.
To the Memphis.
Oh, let's do it. We're going to do Miller time again.
We should do Miller time again.
I was flabbergasted that he had, you know, and I'd just like to speak on that a second. Like, I was thinking as I was listening to Stephen, like I was a cop on the beat in Memphis. Can you imagine the crazy, and then to have the human standing there that's from the administration? You see, they keep telling you that Donald Trump putting military people in the city is somehow against posse comitatus. That's not true. It would only be true if the current government of that city were enforcing the law properly. Because the government of that city is not enforcing federal law properly and abdicating their duties about illegal immigrants and a number of other issues in that city, crime, illegal immigration, things like that, they're abdicating their responsibility to the people. That is what opens the door. Before that moment, the door's not open. You're not going to be able to send the troops into a completely functioning, safe environment where there's no Tifa and there's no chaos and violence or criminal activity because there's no need for them. So the Democrats are acting like that we can't do this, but that's not true. The door is opened by them allowing the criminal activity, and that's another Q proof because Q specifically explained that that's going to be the lead in, that they're not going to stop. We know how they're going to react to everything that we do. It's called game theory. This is the end game. The end game is to re-solidify law enforcement with the federal government and let them know that Donald Trump has their back, so that whenever they go and arrest the perpetrator that keeps getting out of jail 100 times, they realize that the feds will step in and charge them with federal crimes.
And this is another reminder of the Schumer Democrat shutdown.
And more sombrero.
Y la voz que chula la ambiente y dice... ¡Un, dos!
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that.
47 if you enjoy laughing with the MG show and actually mocking both sides of the political aisle, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful, Shady. Wait, one more. Uh-oh.
Oh, this was better.
Democrats are demanding health care for everybody.
And by the way, that goes to excuse me, let me go grab it because this is Donald Trump posts this. Check it out. We're going to show you the clip. Maxine Waters admitted that she is demanding health care for illegal aliens, and it's going to be top of the line, taking American taxpayers' health care away from them. Listen. Wait, let's listen. This is good.
Democrats want to prioritize the health care of illegal aliens over a government shutdown? Because if the government does shut down, Americans...
Excuse me, stop it right there. We're not prioritizing. What we're doing is saying simply we want to keep the government open and we want to work with the Republicans and have a bipartisan agreement to keep this government open, and health care is at the top of our agenda.
But aren't Democrats demanding health care for illegal aliens?
That's right. Democrats are demanding health care for everybody. We want to save lives. We want to make sure that health care is available to those who would die, but having the help of their government.
So you're good with the government shutdown, even if it means giving health care to people who aren't American citizens?
Well, that's what you're pushing on. What you're trying to do is you're standing
Call me on my BS, okay? Wow. Look, watch what happens.
And you're trying to make me say that somehow we're going to put non-citizens over Americans. Quit.
You did. Okay? You did.
Stop it. This is the kind of journalism we don't need.
We don't need journalists that actually see for a living and actually call you out on your BS. We don't need these kind of journalists.
You're divisive. No, you're not.
Yeah, no,
you're being divisive. No.
You're being divisive because you don't agree with my narrative.
Please. You don't need to ask that question. You're just trying to get controversy here. You're not going to get it from me.
Oh, we already got it. You're a walking controversy. A woman that has over a $6 million home out of her district that she represents. How do you get that money, Maxine? They all have foundations and institutes for a reason. Stupid.
She said the quiet part out loud, Jeff.
You did.
So the reason that I say that she said the quiet part out loud is because she's explaining to you that everything that they did with Obamacare way back in 2008 was a con. That was the con. The whole time they understood that they were going to do this. They were going to implement this healthcare system that they were saying Obamacare for everybody. They meant everybody. They meant that they were going to go round up about 20 or 30 million illegals and bring them to America and give them healthcare and subsistence and then give them the right to vote, therefore overtopping the conservative voting bloc forever. That was their plan. give them health care. You voted for this. If you guys, at any point in your life, you thought, oh man, I really want government health care, not independent services like I already have that are actually the most functional health services ever created on the planet that we had before Obamacare here. If you voted for this, then you voted for illegal. You voted for health care for everyone, just like she said, and she means like 8 billion people, everyone. Like she means you should be paying for every single person's health care on the planet. I'm not joking about that. That's what she thinks.
Well, that's because they turned the illegal aliens, that's why they flipped, into voters.
Yeah, that was a great plan. I mean, you got to give them some credit.
Trust the plan.
Yeah, it's like, you're not going to bring 20 million people here and turn them into, the hell we aren't.
I have
watch this. Oh, my beer.
I have sad news. Jane Goodall passed away at 91, Shady. She dies at 91, and she was a primatologist. Remember, she was with the monkeys and stuff, and a conservationist. When she spoke at the WEF, she was awesome. She represented the death cult very well. Let's listen to her. You want to hear Jane Goodall, who passed away, Shady?
Only if you'll read my comment after.
And then finally, we cannot hide away from human population growth, because it underlies so many of the other problems. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago.
500 years ago, the world population would have been approximately 461 million people. Recall the Georgia Guidestones? Remember, it outlined that principle. Remember that, Shady?
Yeah, before they go boom.
Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. And, we go from there. But this is the death cult.
It's called globalism. This is the extinctionalists we've talked about. This is globalism. This is the death cult. This is the globalist, meaning that they want you dead. Extinctionalists want you dead. And what she's saying right there is, okay, I want to, real quick, take less than a minute.
Death cult.
It is a death cult. And the earth is not overpopulated. Okay. And I want to say this very clear. This is a point that I haven't made in a long time, and I'm going to make it to the audience right now. Do the math. Go out there and do some simple math. Take 8 billion people. And then you take 8 billion people and you add it all up and you put them all in one spot. Okay. If you take 8 billion people and you put them all in one spot, they fill up about the area of the country of France. And everybody has roughly 1,000 square feet of elbow room. And I'm telling you, take 8 billion people, stand them all together, and they would occupy barely the outline of the country of France, and everybody's got 1,000 feet. Okay, that's 8 billion people. This earth is not overpopulated. That is a globalist climate change narrative that they're trying to sell you on, so that you don't ever notice that what's going on is a class warfare where the upper crust and the upper echelon, the aristocracy, if you will, are sucking in every single piece of anything valuable that you have and not redistributing it back into the economy. They're keeping it. They're off booking it. They're taking it out of the value. So if you take all of these people and you put them together, what you realize is that the earth is not overpopulated, that the systems of earth are grossly mismanaged by people that have an agenda to extinct you. So therefore, the things that they are giving you might not be very good, like, all of these different things that they feed you through your vaccinations. Or why are they actually feeding you the food dye in the first place? Or why is fluoride actually a byproduct of making aluminum? Or what is monosodium glutamate? And why is that in my water? Or why is aspartame in my soda? All of these different things that you see in life connect to what Miss Goodall was saying right there. And I hope that she burns in hell.
Oops.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I didn't.
The Democrats, right? They want to give your health care money to illegal aliens and open our borders to the criminals, okay? Because it's a deadly combination and everyone will come. It's a death cult. They want you dead.
Yes.
It's that simple.
That's you specifically. That's not like, like you, the guy next to you. Like you. No. You're the problem, and you'll see this if you pay close attention to their propaganda. They play the movies like the last person that left Earth You know, like Earth needs to be human free, like you're a parasite. If you go back into some ancient texts, you'll run into some similar narratives where certain demigods wanted to get rid of all the people. It's funny that the bloodlines connect, but here nor there, I'm the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. Wow.
Death cult. By the way, Donald Trump did post Death Cult over the weekend after we highlighted Death Cult on our Friday show.
He posted it Friday at 11.
And he also, I know we reported it. I'm reporting it again because the people might have missed it. And also, Donald Trump mentioned his Southern Railway friend out of Chicago again in his speech just the day before yesterday. Over and over.
Whew, guys, I tell you, it's crazy.
Everything.
It's crazy. It's a death cult. Here, let's.
Oh no, I can't even imagine what you've been trying to get your hold of. I know, I see you over there.
Yeah. When we passed the bill, this press said, which one did you do? I said, well, what we did is we pushed open the gate because the American people were with us there pushing open that gate. The courage of our members, but the mobilization.
What gate is she talking about? Hell?
And so when what's his name said, when
he might already be there.
Became president in 2017, it was inaugurated in 2017, the Affordable Care Act sucks. Forgive me, but I'm just quoting the leader of the free world. The Affordable Care Act sucks. We said, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. I can't afford it.
10,000 events around the country where people told their stories.
You gotta stay healthy.
I know.
We had this conversation among ourselves, told their stories. My baby was born with a heart problem, cost millions of dollars in doctor bills. Affordable Care Act took care of it. My wife had breast cancer. My father a stroke. Different people telling their stories, not talking about provisions of the bill, not talking about Democrats versus Republicans, just their own story. Nothing more eloquent than that, especially to a member of Congress. So again, this is what we're doing. We're mobilizing throughout the country to make sure the public's voice is heard on this, and that the Republicans in Congress know that the public is on to what they are doing. And so in that spirit, we're expecting, oh, he's here. Okay. As I said earlier, I had the honor of...
And there was a pretty funny moment, too, when she came on. Let's look at this. Look at.
Okay, can you hear better now?
Can you hear better? Watch.
No. Hi, and thank you for hosting us here at NIMS Pace Center in Chinatown.
Chinatown she's in, Shady.
Oh, she's in Chinatown.
It was fake.
Imagine that.
This is one of my favorite places. It meets the needs of the people in a way that is an intellectual resource to us back as to what really works. Not Dr. Ty's words, but mine. What you doing? What the Republican shutdown is exactly
she has no sound.
Our country on the health and well-being
allegedly
of the American people. I'm so proud.
Well, you have to get down now.
By Kevin Mullen, who will be with us more. Who I had the honor of sharing the representation.
Oh, that's fresh.
Of San Francisco.
She got her Christmas duck early, huh?
Wow.
Wow.
What a treat. Better be careful down there.
Oh, my God. These are the people of the Democrat Party that must
might
go.
Be more than one claw, you know what I'm saying?
Claws. Santa.
Yeah. I need to start talking like that. Would that make me sound better if I and if you know, I don't know, you start just wiggling that hand. Oh my God. So it's like Gavin Newsom.
So the shutdown, right, is day 2. They're still at a deadlock. So Democrats, guys, are hopefully waiting for the Republicans to drain that swamp of cash, guys, that they have been relying on. That way they don't have to face up to their foreign billionaire donors, right? The government shut down. And then Trump canceled 1.5 million jobs and all these different programs that the Democrats like. What do you think of that, Shady?
I think that this is change that I can believe in. Honest to God, I really do. I think that the reason that what we're doing, the reason that we are having to be so animated over this unbelievable nonsense that we are battling every day. Remember, we told you a long time ago that the MG show was where psyops go to die. Well, this is where they go to die. You can bring any of them here and we will show you how it's a psyop. We are more than happy to do the work. and it is really not that laborious to do the work for you. It's really it's a blessing to have the opportunity to speak to people. It's a blessing to have a platform and not being completely censored. The idea that we are able to speak to you here on Red State Talk Radio, Rumble, our podcast that's going out on Podbeam to multiple different platforms, also on X and Facebook. Thank you all so much for being able to guide through. You're the only people that have gotten this far. I'll tell you that. There's no one out there in the game that's further ahead than you are. There's no one in the game that's closer to being in the golden age with Donald Trump than you are, as far as mentally ready to do so, mentally ready to realize that you're not part of the FUD, you're not part of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. You're part of the future. You're part of the golden age. You're part of what it is that we came here to do long before we were born.
Yeah. Yeah, amen. Real quick, MC Bear, I'm preparing for retirement. I'm getting rid of my online subscriptions, keeping my Rumble Premium and Red Castle. Thank you so much.
We win.
G. Westbury says, nobody mentions the fact that when you sign your child up for Obamacare, you actually have to turn your child over to the government to do as they wish. Yikes.
True.
Cram says, 1 subscription. Thank you, Cram, our friend. I hope Joe Scarborough is going to be okay, Shady Grove.
Is he in a bad way, Jeff?
Let's just say that Joe Scarborough didn't kill himself. Check this out.
Okay.
Democrats for this. What exactly are the Democrats supposed to do?
You keep repeating. They're supposed to fight back.
Yes.
They're supposed to know. They're
and
supposed
lie
to
as
do
well?
what.
Like what exactly?
No. Bill Clinton just completely abused and used Republicans in every government shutdown. I know.
He's turning red.
I was there.
Wow. So Mika is a Brzezinski, and Brzezinski is a bloodline, right? Wow. Inner circle. So Joe, just be careful. You remember your little lady that you had being one of your aides there in Florida that just died in your office?
Next, they bumped her head.
Yeah, maybe we should reopen that investigation like Trump wants to do.
Well, I think that Mika right there was having her second thoughts.
Yeah,
like, at any moment we can throw this guy under the bus. He's like starting to spout off at
the very mind.
We're gonna have issues.
Oh man, I tell you, I do it to you all the time, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they get in trouble for it.
No, I'm not gonna make you get in trouble for it. I'm just gonna make you feel bad about it. It's okay, Jeff. I can't console you because I'm working on making you feel bad about it. I wish I could.
Okay.
Let me put that on the list, and maybe the counselor.
Counseling. All right,
we got 2, by the way. Now, you didn't tell them we have the 2 counselors, did you? Did you tell them that? Okay, don't tell them that.
All right, don't tell them that
because now we have to get a second opinion.
That's right. All right, and we are running out of time here, Shady Grove. We've got Thursday in the books. Psychological operations. Just think for yourself, guys. And these big influencers are leading you astray, and it's sad. In fact, I saw somebody yesterday, Shady. And she was like following Candace Owens. I'm like, I don't know what happened to Candace Owens. Well, maybe I do. Maybe she was funded by a foreign, government because, she needs to make money for herself. But she's leading you astray, and so are all these other influencers that may or may not knowingly be leading you astray. And just think for yourself. Ask questions, but think for yourself. And once you find the answer, don't go back. You can't go back. I can't go back. I can't look at all this crap anymore like I used to, Shady.
I can't either because you're supposed to find new information and it's supposed to reassess, recalibrate your perception and your position on things that are around you.
That's right. Alexis Wilkins is not Mossad, guys. And Charlie Kirk was murdered by somebody that was transgender, had a transgender girlfriend, wrote Catch Fascist because of the stochastic terrorism. They created a monster with all of the vitriol that they've had in the news, guys. And the MSM one day will be held liable, and that's the end of the MSM. Shady, God bless you. Yeti, God bless you. We love you all. Shady Group, bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, everybody. And matter of fact, Jeff, you had some statistics about how the media has lost 50%. Fox and MSNBC and CNN.
All of them.
45% viewership in a year, guys. We are eliminating their voices.
No think is allowed in the Matrix, says James Kinn. It's a good one. All right, guys. Shady, see you later.
God bless.
Thank you, Yeti. Thank you, everybody.
We have been taught lies. Reality is not at all what we perceive it to be.
We cannot survive any longer by hanging on to the falsehoods of the past. Reality must be discerned at all costs if we are to be a part of the future. Truth must prevail in all instances, no matter who it hurts or helps, if we are to continue to live upon this earth. At this point, what we want may no longer matter. It is what we must do to ensure our survival that counts. The old way is in the certain process of destruction, and a new world order is beating down the door. If we do not act in concert with each other and ensure that the future becomes what we need it to be, then we will surely deserve whatever fate awaits us. Human beings are machines, levers which may be grasped and turned, and there is little real difference between automating a society and automating a shoe factory. Those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brains. You can no longer pretend innocence. Your denial of the conspiracy will fall on deaf ears. You must accept that you have been cattle, and the ultimate consequence of being cattle, which is slavery. History is replete with whispers of secret societies, accounts of elders or priests who guarded the forbidden knowledge of ancient people. Prominent men, meeting in secret, who directed the course of civilization, are recorded in the writings of all people. The situation in which we find ourselves is due to our own actions or inactions over the last 44 years. Because it is our own fault, we are the only ones who can change future events. Education seems to me to be a major part of the solution. The remaining part is the abolition of secrecy. Through ignorance or misplaced trust, we as a people have abdicated our role as the watchdog of our government. If we had done our jobs as citizens, we would never have reached this point. Most of us are completely ignorant as to even the most basic functions of our government. We have truly become a nation of sheep. And sheep are always eventually led to slaughter. The New World Order will be a totalitarian socialist system. We will be slaves shackled to a cashless system of economic control.
So, Mr. Cooper, are there larger numbers of people all the time who are receptive to your message and who are thinking a little bit more deeply and critically about these fundamental issues of government and politics that perhaps they did not give as much thought to in the past?
Oh, yes. In fact, I never dreamed that I would make such an impact. When I first began what I'm doing now, which was many years ago, I was lucky if I could travel 1,000 miles and collect 3 people in somebody's living room.
And now we are continuing your legacy. Bill Cooper, Sheep No More, the MG Show family, God bless you all. Where we go, one we go all, www.mg.show. Boom.